Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It's Friday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I feel like that's my catchphrase. I don't really know how to open these things, but I don't know. I keep saying it, so that's my catchphrase, I guess. We're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. Uh, it is Friday night, so hopefully we can have some fun. If anybody's in the chat, feel free to chat. Otherwise, I'm going to get into it. So what are we working on tonight? Well, people seem to have been enjoying my pastel drawings. I've done a number of. I always suck at that. I've done a number of them, and people are saying that they're nice. So I enjoy doing them. You guys enjoy watching me do them. So I'm just gonna do that tonight. But I wanted to do things a little bit differently. So if I can jump right into the full screen. So most of the pastel drawings that I've been doing have been on white paper, or really kind of technically like a cream colored paper. And it's worked out pretty nice. The paper I use is kind of like this mixed media paper, and it's got a little bit of tooth to it. I wanted to try doing a pastel picture on black paper. And I've done a couple of like white charcoal pictures on this black paper before, but what I found is that this is like super smooth. Like you probably can't even hear me like rubbing against that. It barely has any tooth. It doesn't really hold the pigment very well. And when it comes to pastels, the way I like drawing with pastels, so it's a lot different if you're drawing with like white charcoal or something like that, where you don't need to really build up a lot of layers. But when you're working with color, you kind of want to stack those layers. So I found, like, I haven't really tried working on this paper, but I was going to try tonight. And one of the first things I noticed is how smooth it is, and I was a little bit concerned. So this kind of like shiny bit you see is some clear gesso. That's what I'm doing here to kind of resolve that issue. It kind of has like like a I think it's like marble sand. I don't really know, but it's got like some texture to it. So like I applied some clear gesso just to give it some tooth. And if you hear this part, the shiny parts, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's kind of like sanded. As you can see, I'm actually making marks here, which is not good. So hopefully this works out. I've never done a pastel picture on paper like this before, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hey, cool. Mama Q's in here. How's it going? Uh, oh, whipping up dinner. What are you having for dinner? I'm just gonna get started. So like, I don't really like this green pastel that I'm gonna start with, but it's the only green I've got. I really need to buy some more pastels, like the stick kind. I've got plenty of pencils, but so as you can see already, that's kind of got this cool little texture to it, and I can just kind of hear it scraping across the page, which is always nice. Like when you're drawing, to hear that kind of like scraping noise. I don't know. It's not for everybody, but for me, I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how late you came in, Mama Q, but I'm just basically doing another one of my pastel portraits, but I'm trying a different kind of paper technique. So again, this is kind of like my normal style where I just kind of like make some marks, make some messes, and kind of try to fill out where a subject might be and all of that. So if it looks like a mess, it's supposed to. Oh, sockeye salmon. Man, that's so much better than the peanut butter and jelly I had for dinner. I think I'm going to get some pizza later, but for now, I had some peanut butter and jelly because I didn't want to get hungry while doing this. Man, everybody eats so much better than me. I eat like crap. So you might be wondering, like, well, he's doing a pastel picture, like a portrait. Why is he using green? Well, I kind of want this portrait I'm doing to be kind of like on a sort of woodsy backdrop, but also there's a what is the name of that? There's a technique that Renaissance painters used to do where they kind of started with like a green base coat, and it works really well for portraits. I want to say it's like Verdaccio technique or something like that. I'm not doing the full thing here. I'm not doing like the entire portrait in green and then coming back and adding color to it. But I thought starting with a nice green base color coat would be kind of cool. Hey, Briorama. Yeah, salmon sounds great, man. Make it that nice and smooth now. I do like the texture of this paper. I'm gonna do this more often, like maybe every time I do one of these pictures. That's a nice big old mess. I like to start with a nice mess. All right, so now I'm gonna kind of try to figure out where a face might be. I do have a reference picture, but you know, like my other ones, I'm just gonna kind of follow it loosely. So I kind of want the subject kind of looking off to the left here. And I kind of want like kind of looking over the shoulder a little bit. So kind of bring that down. Again, I'm not trying to create anything special here. I'm just trying to figure out where I might want things to be. Like kind of giving myself a little bit of things to work with to fill where things might be, which is a little bit tough sometimes. I think I want the chin to kind of be midway through the paper, which I would say is kind of right about here. And then kind of bring that jaw up or cheek, whichever. Like if it was a guy I was drawing, I would call it a jaw. If it's a girl I'm drawing, I'll call it a cheek. I don't know why. Hey, okay, Larry. Kind of blend all that in. I know it looks like a big old mess. It always does. But somewhere in here is a face, and I will figure out where that is. I hope. Right now, it kind of got a She-Hulk looking thing going here. Or what's a character that has um, orange skin and green hair? That's not She-Hulk. She-Hulk's all green. I think this is probably good. I should probably. It's a work in progress. I'm gonna keep tinkering with it. So let's get some darkness going here to kind of figure out where, like her face in this, I think is going to be rather small. Like there's a substantial torso here, I think. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you can see this layering of color. Toxic Adventure. Yeah, there you go. You can see like with this layering of colors on top of each other, if you don't have any tooth to the page, you're only going to get so far with that. I've learned. Like I am not an expert on these things. Like I'm still learning drawing with pastels, but I learned pretty quick that there's only so far you get if your paper is really smooth. So this is kind of trying to get some shadows in here. She's not going to be this dark. One day, yeah, yeah. My fingers always end up really dirty. That's okay. I enjoy that. Like, I mean, the part of the appeal to using pastels to me is, you know, that it's a very tactile thing. Like, you get dirty. It's not clean. It's supposed to be messy, and so on. Like, I don't know. To me, if it's not messy, it's not art. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who would disagree with me on that, and they'd probably be right. It's just for me, I like to get dirty when I'm working on pictures. Don't worry, guys. She's not going to be this skin tone. Just laying in some shadows. So I think, yeah, I'll come back and add it. But I'm trying to picture in my mind what this is going to look like. I think the eyes are going to basically be somewhere around here. Going to basically have a nose somewhere around here. Somewhere around here is the mouth. I think I should dip in a little bit lower. Yeah. So the mouth is going to be about midway point. So down here, I think, Trying to give myself some space for a mouth. Yeah, real work always gets your hands dirty. The funny thing is, I like, I work on computers and I don't get a chance to get my hands dirty while doing that all that often. So for me, it's kind of like not a deal breaker, but if I'm not getting my hands dirty, then that's no good. So again, I'm not trying to like um, put a lot of detail into this yet. I'm just trying to figure out where things are. Like these smudges are good enough for eyes at this point. Yeah, definitely. So like I'm probably one of the few people in the world that actually enjoy mowing the lawn. Um, to me, mowing the lawn is like awesome because like you get to, I don't know, there's just something about the experience of like you know, watching all your hard work go to waste once a week. So like, especially during the summer, like spring and summer, where you have to mow like every week, like probably around this time of year, I mow the lawn like every other week. I'm not one of those people who care about like a well manicured lawn. That's not me. Um, as long as like, I don't know, it looks decent enough and, the neighbors aren't complaining or whatever. But yeah, I do enjoy mowing the lawn for that particular reason. So like, it's like you do this thing and then like 1 week later you have to do it again. Something about that regular routine appeals to me. I'm definitely a creature of habit. I like routines. That's actually one of the whole reasons why I started this channel. Like I figured if I if I commit to doing art once a week and I have a bunch of viewers like you, um, kind of holding me to it, I might actually get somewhere with my habit. Because I know like if I don't develop a habit, I'm not gonna like progress. So these are just like some basic highlights just to kind of figure out, um, kind of add some form to her face, get started on that. And the whole technique here is you lay down some pastel and then you kind of like blend it out, make it smooth. Um, with these portraits, I like to do like really smooth faces. Of course, faces come in all shapes and sizes and stuff. I haven't done an old man yet, but that's on my list. Like at some point, I would love to do like Gandalf or some other guy with a bunch of wrinkles in this style, just to see how it goes. See how I could adapt to it. Because right now it's basically add color, smooth it out, add color, smooth it out. Just keep working it until you get something that kind of resembles somebody. And if you're dealing with like a lot of details like wrinkles and so on, I'm not really sure how that would work, but I'll work on it. Yeah, Mona Lawn is awesome. And not like one of those fancy, like I know that it sounds weird for like a redneck like me to say this, but I like push mowers. Like I like the hands-on bit. Like I get that, especially like as I get older, the idea of a riding lawnmower appeals more. And if you have like a large piece of property, it does become like, well, it's a riding lawnmower or nothing. But for me, I just have like your typical suburb yard. So for me, I enjoy doing the push mower. I guess I should ask, how's everybody's week going? I'm so far behind on all my projects. It's ridiculous. Oh, you guys might be wondering why I haven't put up any shorts this week. It's because I forgot to hit record on my Tuesday one, and I wanted to do another live stream or just like a little standalone video um, earlier in the week, but that's how my week's been. I literally didn't get the time to do it. Like for those of you who hang out with me on like like Discord and social media and stuff, like I've got a pile of comments I haven't even gotten to yet. That's how busy I've been. It's ridiculous. People aren't meant to live this way. So now that I'm starting to get some form here, let me kind of check where I'm at. Okay. I did kind of want this to be a little bit further over, but I can work with this. And you can see how it goes. So like, you're constantly refining your picture. So like I wanted to grow her face by like a few millimeters or something. So like I'm just going to push it over a little bit and then go with this new angle. And then I kind of have to figure out. So I kind of want her neck to like run into her chin. And as I'm looking at it now, I've got way too much neck here. So I've got to shave some of that off. But these things aren't that difficult to do, you know. Just kind of blend it out, keep on going. One of these days I'll get around to like painting one of these pictures. Captain Kirk equal. I met that guy, William Shatner. He has a horse farm near here in Versailles, Kentucky, and his wife, I think, Elizabeth Shatner, is from here, and she's an artist. I don't know if she's still doing it or anything like that, but I got to meet the guy because he shows saddlebred horses, and sometimes he's out at the Kentucky State Fair. So that was a joy. They had the World Equestrian Games here back in 2010, and he was one of the people who kind of introduced that. The World Equestrian Games, for those who don't know, is kind of like the Olympics of equestrian sports. So like you do have like the actual Olympics, but there's certain qualifying events for it, and one of those is the World Equestrian Games. It's for people who participate in like horse sports. You might know what I'm talking about when I say it's a four-star event, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's fine. It's kind of like an arcane knowledge that I've got stored up. I don't participate in horse sports anymore, but it's like just a lot of latent knowledge from working in the industry for a while. Like even though I don't actively participate in the sport, like I'm a software developer by profession, and I've kind of switched to being freelance in the last couple of years. And most of my clients are still horse people, like people who have like farms, people who are competitors, things of that nature. Sometimes horse organizations. I love this textured paper. Sorry, I'm on a thing here. I'm just loving this paper. And there's nothing special about the paper except that I added that clear gesso, by the way. Yeah, horses are awesome. Most of my uh, most of my friends in real life are horse people, which is weird because like before I moved to this, I didn't always live in Kentucky. I was actually born here, but my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. But before moving here, I wasn't really into horses at all. But since living here, it's kind of like you have to be into horses just because like there's horses everywhere, horse farms everywhere. This is always fun to like the clavicle here. I think that's one of the most defining features, like when you're doing a portrait and she's not like wearing a turtleneck or something like that. Got to get the clavicle right. One of these days I'll learn all the anatomy, but for now, if you get the clavicle right, you've got some form in the chest area. And all of this is going to be like a shirt and stuff. Hopefully I'll have time to get to it, but I kind of want like maybe some like leaves and stuff back here. I don't know. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brian Rama. Yeah, like what I really love about doing these portraits, and I think people are responding to it, is that it's just so cool to see a face come out of nothing. Especially like when I put up a short or something like that. It's so cool to watch, Like I don't know, like when you're in an art gallery or something like that, which my work probably will never end up in, but who knows? Um, when you're in like an art gallery or something, you're looking at the finished piece, like so it's a static thing. But like one of the cool opportunities about doing YouTube and hanging out with you guys is you get to make those time lapses, and those time lapses are art in itself, like just to watch these pictures kind of develop. So she's got like a lot of highlight on her forehead. I'll probably lighten that up with some white here after a bit, but most of my friends in real life, yeah. You have to draw that distinction because like I have a lot of friends online and to me they're real friends, like it's not like they're any less friends, but um, I don't get to go to like the bar with you guys or anything like it, which sucks because if you guys were here, thank you, okay, Larry. If you guys were here, I would totally hang out with you guys at like the bar, like all of you guys. You guys are awesome. Um, but unfortunately, we're like spread all over the world. Like literally, just Dave, whenever he pops in here, he's from the UK. Like he doesn't even live in this country. Um, but you're all my friends. I count you guys as friends. Maybe you don't count me as friends, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I would totally hang out with you guys. And some of the people I've met online when they do pass through my neck of the woods, I'm the first one to say, "Hey, let's go get a beer or something like that." I try to, I try to, I try to treat people online like I would in real life. You know, like I don't care who you are in real life. I'll hang out with you. I have some of the best conversations talking to homeless people on the streets. Definitely an interesting perspective on life. I'm not calling you guys homeless or anything like that. I'm just saying that, yeah, I don't put on airs when it comes to people I hang out with. I hang out with virtually anybody just because, like, it's nice to get a wide range of perspectives. I actively seek that, like, yeah, it's a huge planet for real. Um, anyway, I actually actively seek like a bunch of different points of views, right? So like we have an election cycle coming up, like over the next year or whatever. I like to hear from like both sides. I don't like to I don't like to just kind of get stagnant in my thinking about anything. I like to keep an open mind, hear both sides because like usually nobody. It's my belief, and it usually holds up. It's usually my belief that no one's like 100% wrong. You know, even if you're wrong about something, you might be right on like, what it means or, some of these other things. Like you might be wrong on a particular fact or something like that, but that doesn't mean that your outlook is wrong. You know, I don't know what I'm saying, but my point is that I don't think anybody's like 100% wrong about anything. So, because I don't think anybody's 100% wrong about anything, I want to hear everybody's point of views on everything. Like even things like I don't know, like controversial subjects. Like I may not agree with you, but I still want to hear your point of view because you might be right. Like in that you know, like you might be spouting nonsense, but in that nonsense that you're saying, there might be something that rings true. It's almost like she's wearing a mask at this point. It's kind of cool. Smooth all this stuff out. But anyway, that's just my point of view. I like to I like other people's point of views. I very rarely have an opinion of my own. I'm more interested in what other people think about things. I mean, I probably have an opinion on things, but it's like I don't have any like strong opinion. I'm easily swayed by a good argument. I'm not just like gullible or anything like that. But if you have a good argument, you can probably convince me of whatever. But you have to have a good argument because I am pretty skeptical about things too. Like I actively disbelieve a lot of things. Like I'm pretty sure the world is round. You can try to convince me that the world is flat. I'll hear what you have to say and I'll appreciate what you have to say because like somewhere in that in whatever you're saying about the world being flat, there's probably something in there that I agree with. I might disagree with the overall conclusion though. It's a crazy Friday night. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm actually wrong more than I am right. Because like I don't know, we're all that way though, right? Like we all form. I mean, here's the thing: you can't go around and consider everything. You can't look up everything on Google or whatever. Like sometimes you have to just form a gut opinion on something, and often often you're wrong. Kind of get some shadow in here, so I kind of have a better idea of like where the neck ends. And by neck, I really mean like her hair. Like there's some hair that drops off over through here. I mean, I'm still in the forming the shape kind of phase before I get into any kind of details. I kind of want to know where different parts work. I think that's a good neck shape there. Bring that down. And there's going to be an ear up here somewhere. Oh, starting to look like a person, sort of. The basics of a person. The other thing about coating this with clear gesso to kind of give you some tooth is that you are able to come back over it with pencils, which is nice. Yeah, like if you bring your opinions online, because there's so many different people out there, you're going to find somebody who disagrees with you, and they are going to argue you to death. I have found that like I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm getting older, and I don't feel old, but I definitely feel like I'm getting older. You know, um, I'm starting to not be interested in arguing some of the things that I probably would have when I was younger. So like I don't know, when I was younger, I might get into like a conversation where I am arguing politics or I am arguing like religion or one of these controversial things that everybody has an opinion on. Um, I don't find myself arguing so much anymore. And maybe that's just like I don't know, the wisdom of realizing that like there is no right wrong answer, or if there is, it's kind of unknowable. Like there's no way that I feel comfortable saying that I know. Um, so like I just don't even argue the point. I listen more than I want to talk. Like sometimes I have to talk. Like I don't know. Like here I'm I have to fill the air, right? So like I have to be able to talk. Um, but honestly, I'd rather listen. Like I need a co-host. That's what I need. Somebody to come on and talk while I'm just drawing, and then maybe I might have like a response to something they're saying. But I worry about that sometimes. Like, would I actually have something to talk about on here? Because I really don't have a lot of strong opinions on things. I'd rather listen. Some of you guys have seen me on other people's shows. Like I've been on Ben's show, for example, and I'd rather hear Ben talk than me talk. And by Ben, I mean anybody. Like if I were on K Pro show or something like that. All right. So I need to move the nose over a little bit. I'm happy with where the lips are and stuff like that, but the nose has to come over. And you see how this works. Like you kind of constantly refine things. So it's just a matter of moving the light a little bit. And then I'll just put in more shadow over here on this side. So quick little nose job. I was suspicious of an account in Discord a few weeks back and started having a pretend uh, Trump supporters to see their, yeah. It's the season for that. You're gonna get a lot of you're gonna get a lot of political garbage. Which sucks. You know, we have to go through that every 4 years. I don't look forward to it. Like on politics, I would consider myself like kind of a diehard independent. Um, and there's definitely a lot of people who aren't around me. Like they have some much stronger opinions about things, which, you know, is sometimes fun, but oftentimes not. Darken up that nose a little bit. Let's see. Actually, I like this pencil. I'm going to keep with it. Let's get some shadows going in here. Yeah, leave everyone alone. Like Forrest Finn said that, and I think you know that's great advice. I like to listen to older people when they talk because they've been around the block a few. They might be grumpy, you know, a little bit cynical, and so on, but they know a thing or two. They got good advice, especially people who's like in their 80s or above or something like that. They've seen a thing or two. So I think this eyebrow goes all the way over to the edge. So I'm hoping, and this is where my inexperience comes back to bite me. I'm hoping that she doesn't have harsh features. I want her face to be like really soft. I want her to be like as if she was out in the woods, like in nature and so on. I mean, I guess I'll see how it goes. Notice how I'm slowly moving the entire picture over. So like I had the eye over here originally. I want it closer. So it's like a little sleight of hand, you know, like while you guys are watching these little subtle things and stuff, I'm slowly moving some features over because I kind of screwed up in the beginning. It's just a little bit of magic trick. Sometimes when I talk, I end it, like, you see these little dots? That's me like projecting from my mouth because I start laughing or something. That's a good point. Okay, Larry. They say politics is all local. That is so true. You know, here in Kentucky, that definitely rings true because like we're kind of in the middle. Like we always have been. Like even back during the I don't know, like Civil War days or whatever. This is a border state, so yeah, there's nothing good that comes from talking politics. In fact, I only brought it up as an example of like controversial subjects to stay out of. Politics, religion, hell, everything these days. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this eyebrow up a little bit just to kind of tilt her head a little bit. If that makes sense. But I'm gonna smooth all that out. Really, the only like hard features come um, towards the end when I do these things. Or that's the way you're supposed to do it. Like I don't always stick to that recipe, but get some hair definition going. Now, of course, she's not going to have green hair. She's going to have brown hair. That's just the start of the picture. You guys will see. You'll see how it comes together. I always have misplaced confidence. And I feel like if any of you guys are interested in being, just drawing in general or doing any kind of creative work, this is something I've learned over the last year of doing this. You almost have to be like crazy, like optimistic going into it. Like you have to be not just hopeful, but like almost delusionally optimistic that it's going to turn out right. Because there's so many different things that can go wrong, and sometimes they do. Like it doesn't always turn out well. Give her a little bit of a facial reconstruction on her cheek over here. Even though I do kind of want a softer cheek, so let me put some of that back in. But yeah, you have to you have to trust. Well, they even talk about that, trust the process. Like especially when you have like an ugly green picture like this, you have to kind of trust that it's going to look better in the end. And I don't know, I've done enough of these that where I feel like it usually works out. Like I have no reason to believe that it will this time, but I'm not worried about it. And like if it ever does turn out looking garbage, well, I've had a few of those too. So just wad it up, throw it in the trash, never show it to anybody. Let's see, a little bit of eye bag here going. Once I'm confident in where everything is placed, I'll start adding some details to some of this. But right now I'm still adding form to the picture. I kind of want to try my hand at painting because I feel like painting is going to be very similar to this. I've done a few paintings, don't get me wrong. It's just I want to do like a portrait and well, I haven't really figured it out. Like I don't have any oil paints. I have some acrylic paints. I have some watercolor, but I don't know if I want to do watercolor. I want to do this thick paint, right? Like the pastel here is like way thicker than like watercolor comes out to be. And that's kind of the painting I want to do. So it would either be acrylics or gouache, which is kind of like a cross between watercolor and acrylic. One of these days I'll get around to getting some proper oil paints. I've got some, but I haven't opened them up because I got them in like a yard sale. So they're probably like 500 years old and all dried up and crusty and stuff. Some highlights going down here. We're still adding form. This is, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're only 45 minutes into this. That's cool. All right. I gotta remember what colors I used so that I can. So the nose kind of starts at the bottom of the, I mean, not the nose, the ear kind of starts at the bottom of the nose. And then it kind of comes up. I don't want to get too close to this edge over here. I think that's probably good enough for an ear. I can always hide part of it behind hair if I'm not happy with how it turns out. Just kind of put a smudge there for an ear. I wish I had some like really dark brown. Yeah. I'm not happy with this other brown. Yeah, that works better. It's amazing how quickly it goes from green to brown. So anybody got any plans for the weekend? Like anything cool? I think I'm going kayaking this weekend. On Sunday, I think. I think that's what people agreed on. That's like kayaking and not even hiking, but going for walks. That's my thing. I'm just basically getting some hair in here. All of this is going to be smoothed out. Like always, the further I get away from the face, the less careful I am with things. Just kind of want to get this back to being dark. She kind of has some hair that's kind of swooping up through here. Hey, Lorraine. We're trying a pastel portrait on dark paper. Um, and the trick here is I have this really smooth dark paper, so I applied some clear gesso to it to kind of give it some texture. And I'm liking it. Like, this is honestly the best paper that I've used for um, one of these pastel portraits. I'm really liking how it's working. I like that it's got some tooth to it. I don't feel like when I go into it, like smooth things out with my finger, I don't feel like I'm losing a lot of my pigment like I have in the past, like when I was doing white charcoal on this black paper. So this is definitely a winner. I'm going to do more of these in the future. Plus, I just like that dark paper aesthetic, where you just start with dark paper and kind of go from there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Go in here draws as well, because like if you guys ever draw along with me, I would love to see your work. And this counts for the people who's not in the live stream too. Like sometimes most of my viewers come from watching it after the fact. Like for some reason they don't show up for the live stream, but they come in like later. Um, people are busy. But for those of you out there who's not in the chat right now, if you guys draw along with me. Like I kind of call this draw with me. Um, if any of you guys are artists and you tuned in because you like pastel portraits or whatever, um, and you end up doing something that is inspired by this, my email address is on the community tab. Feel free to shoot me an email because like I love that kind of feedback. Or drop a comment down below. Like, don't worry about putting a link to your picture. I'm not going to delete it for like calling it spam or anything like that. I would love like, anybody out there who draws, feel free to drop, links to your artwork in the comments or something. I'm like, as long as it's tasteful, like I have to always point that out. There are some kids who watch this show or whatever, but yeah, like if you draw or something and want to show off your work, either email it to me if you're curious, like if you're concerned or worried about whether or not it's appropriate to share. Email it to me or just drop a comment, like link to it or something like that. I don't mind. One of these days, I'll probably form some kind of community so that we can all kind of like hang out together. That would be cool. Hey, thanks, Lorraine. I appreciate that. Oh, Blender. Awesome. Yeah. I use Blender. I'm kind of an amateur at it. So like I don't want to sit there and say that I'm a master at it because I'm still learning myself. But Blender is fun. I honestly think Blender should be used by artists more, not necessarily to create like digital art, but just to like this little dude over here. That's like a tool that artists use to kind of like get an idea for like, figure drawing, things like that. Like if I took a 3D model of somebody and adjusted the lights and stuff, even though I'm not using that 3D model itself to render a piece of art, that still helps me like figure out shadows and highlights and things like that. I think like I mean it's a little bit complicated, Blender is. So like not everybody's going to adopt it, but I do think it's a great tool for things like that. All right, so I love this textured paper. Oh man, why didn't I do this stuff beforehand? Like why did I wait so long to make life easier for myself? Hopefully we can get some eyes in here. I know that it looks weird without eyes. I do feel like this is a lot like painting. I'm gonna paint. Honestly, the only reason I haven't done a painting yet is like I haven't had the time, but I'm gonna make the time for it. Yeah. So I guess there's two ways to model in Blender, and I'm kind of curious what you prefer. So like you can start with like almost like a lump of clay, or you can build shapes with polygons. I'm more used to building shapes with polygons, but I'm kind of curious which do you prefer? I don't think there's a right answer. Like it's just whatever anybody prefers. So I'm kind of curious, like which do you prefer? That's the right attitude. That's kind of how I felt. So like, I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, okay. So you're into the sculpting side of it. That's cool. Um, I have a lot of respect for guys who do that. For me, it's easier to do with the polygons, but yeah, sculpting is art. Don't let anybody tell you different. Like, in Blender is what I'm getting at. And of course, sculpting is art, but So like the comment about like I bought expensive paints, damn it, I'm gonna use them. That's how I feel about my my pen and ink set. So like I bought a set of pens, and I've been doing like so many different other mediums that I haven't like really used them. I bought them because I thought it would be kind of cool to do like comic book type art or something like that. And I don't know. I'm kind of getting used to doing these type of drawings, so I don't know. Like I don't want to hurt anybody's like expectations or like anything like that by doing like an ink picture. But I kind of want to do an ink picture, and there's a tradition out there. It's like a challenge that people do during October. They call it Inktober, and they try to do like one picture per day for the entire 30 days of October. So I might take that up just to get just to use my ink pens is essentially what I'm saying. I have a whole set of varying weights and so on, and I barely even touch them. Like I've used them a couple of times on this show, but not that often. How's that look on camera? Do the eyes look space? Yeah, close enough. Cool. Oh, carve it. Oh, that's cool. So like 3D modeling cars and then making videos from that. That's really cool. Well, hey, same deal goes with you, man. If you're making these things, I assume by Bryorama, you're a man. But yeah, I mean, share that stuff, man. I'd love to check that out, especially if you're making videos and stuff. That'd be cool. You all right, dog? Dog's over here coughing up a lung. What sucks is when you get into these small areas here, my fingers are a little too fat. So I gotta switch to like a blending stump, but I don't trust these blending stumps. I feel like they all they do is like lift the pigment up, and all I'm really doing is just erasing. So I have to use a really light touch so that I don't accidentally remove it all. Gaiorama. Yeah, put them up on your channel and like share your channel. I'm not sure if I know that address. Like I might, like I have a lot of channels in my subscriptions that I forget that are in there, and then like videos pop up and I'm like, oh, I remember this. So I might have been to your channel. I don't know. Don't like hold it against me if I haven't. All right, let me. I always seem to wait until the last minute to work on the nose. I don't know why. Maybe I just don't like working on noses. But like noses are pretty important in a portrait. Like if you get the nose right and the lips right and the eyes right, you're done. Like you can literally screw up everything else. Like the hair, you can screw up the hair. That's okay. You can screw up within reason. You can screw up the cheeks. You can screw up like I mean, you don't even have to draw a neck. Like that's optional. You just got to get the nose, mouth, and eyes right. That's like your whole job. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in for the eyes and get some detail in there. Let's see how this goes. Let's get some Eyelashes going. I feel comfortable at this point that things aren't going to move too much. I just get a little nervous because like it becomes kind of set in stone. Oh, fish music. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah, feel free to send whatever you want. So I always throw out the caveat because I do kind of suck at keeping track of my emails. So like I get like a lot of emails in the day job and stuff like that. So while I see every video that you guys send me, or not videos, while I see every email that you guys send me, I want to throw out the disclaimer. It may be a minute before I get back with you guys, and it's not because I'm disinterested or anything like that. I am very interested in feedback from you guys. It's just time and whatnot. So I don't want you guys to get upset if I don't get back right away. I mean, just simple disclaimer. I'm sure everybody feels that way. Emails have become the worst way to communicate these days, just because like it is so easy to get lost. I've gotten better. I've gotten really good at going through my emails lately. Um, I've I've got this kind of like one touch system for emails. I didn't come up with it, somebody else did, but I really feel strongly with it. So like basically this guy noticed that every email that you open kind of falls into like one of like I think four categories. Basically, like if you open an email, it's like either something you have to follow up on later, like something that you have to read later, right? Um, Something that you have to do, or something you have to do later, right? So basically, and if you ever like use Gmail, you might notice over on the side there's like a notes app and there's like a task app and a calendar app. Basically, I use those tools to kind of quickly go through my emails. I open up an email and I'm like, oh, okay, is this something I have to worry about later? If so, I'm going to take a note, right? Or like, is this something I have to read later? I'm going to take a note and remind myself to go and read it later. If this is something I have to do, I immediately put it in my task and I'll probably schedule it into my calendar. If it's something that is coming up later, like someplace I have to go or something like that, I'm scheduling it in my calendar. Um, Basically, I only open my emails one time and I deal with it then and there. If it's something I can reply to immediately, I just take care of it. But I don't know, it's changed my life. Like I've gotten really good at managing my time based on that. Now this was just recently, so it's not like I'm there yet, but I like the way things are going on that. I don't know who this looks like. It's starting to look a bit like I want to say Bella from Beauty and the Beast, but that's not intentional, so it may change a little bit. Maybe it's because she's brunette and I don't know. One thing I've noticed on like types of drawings I like to do is I like to put in a lot of value, like shadows and highlights and so on. Like I don't want I don't want it to look two-dimensional. I want it to look 3D painted, you know? So like I go out of my way to make sure that there's like some shadows and highlights and things like that just to kind of give it this three-dimensionality. That's looking like an eye. So she's got this dark ring kind of, I don't know if it's eyeshadow. I don't know how women's makeup works. I should probably learn. I don't know if this is just natural lighting or if it's like makeup, but she kind of has these dark areas around her eyes. Elizabeth Banks, maybe. Yeah, you know what's funny is a lot of times people look at these portraits and they see different people, like the same person, or the different people see different people see different people in the same picture. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, come on, Jeremy, use your words. It's so funny these little dots here and stuff. They look like I don't know, like moles or something like that. That's just from me laughing and spitting all over my picture. This is why you shouldn't drink and draw. All right, that's looking cool. So I did want to add some white, not really white. Yeah, this is kind of like an off-white. I kind of wanted to do that in the oh, that crap looks painted. I love it. Hey, okay. So like from Little House on the Prairie, like way back when. Yeah, maybe. It's been a long time since I've seen any of that. Unless you're talking about like some remake or something. I haven't been keeping up. Maybe there's like some remake of that show. You never know. So the thing about eyes, the reason why I'm spending so much time in here is that, you would think, like especially if you're doing like cartoons or whatever, that it's all just like white, right? It's not really. There's like shadows and highlights in some areas. So it starts off kind of like as a base white. It's hard to see on camera, but it's kind of like grayish through here. There's like a little red at the tip. Um, there's like a lot going on. And the more that you capture in your drawing, the more realistic it looks and the more visually interesting, like part of it is to make it look realistic, but the other part is just to give something for people to look at. Because like that's what I enjoy. Like when I go to like an art gallery or something like that, I like looking at little tiny marks in the painting. Little details. Like honestly, I do literally spend hours staring at these things that other people have put into their artwork. I mentioned before, I mean, I get lost in just a like a painting where the brush strokes are like super free or something like that, like some um, expressionist artist or something like that. And I wonder about that paintbrush hitting that canvas, and I'm like, that's cool. Like I'm looking, especially like old paintings. Like I keep coming back to talking about that Leonardo da Vinci. I saw that one time. It's so cool to look at something that Leonardo da Vinci painted 500 years ago or however long it was. Well, that was a long time spent on one eye, but I think that that's a good start. Now I have to make the other eye look kind of consistent. Oh, there is some little things that I wanted to add. So there's always like this little highlight underneath the eye that kind of comes across. This is the top of your eye bag. So often this catches the light and comes around. Just adding that little bit of highlight there really goes a long way to developing a realistic eye. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Michael Landon version. Oh, that I think that's the one I'm talking about. That's the old school Little House on the Prairie, right? Was there another version that I didn't know about? Whoops, wrong pencil. Get some red going in the corners of the eyes. So I'm not actually using a black pastel pencil just because I still haven't sharpened it from like when I broke my pastel pencil before. This is just charcoal. And charcoal goes, for those of you who are interested in drawing, um, charcoal goes really well with pastel. I mean, they're different, and you notice the difference between them, but they're close enough. So I often use charcoal with my pastels, and I feel good about that. I should just leave it like this. This looks cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought they only did like one. Melissa G. I don't know who Melissa G is. I remember A Little House on the Prairie. I remember Michael Landon. I didn't know the actress's name though. That was a that was a long time ago, guys. I mean, I'm old enough to remember what you guys are talking about, but like you guys can't expect me to remember people's names. I barely remember people's names nowadays. I just want to be really good at drawing eyes. Like honestly, I don't need to draw anything else. I just like drawing eyes. I need to make sure that these eyes match up and that they look right together. I think this one needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm not done with that yet, so don't judge me by it yet. I just wanted to wipe my nose real quick. All right. One of the tough things about doing eyes is that they kind of have to work with each other. So, like, you have to painstakingly make sure that each individual eye isn't just good, that they work well together. Like, this one is a little bit too light for the other side, so I need to darken it up just a little bit. I think that iris needs to be a bit bigger. The reason why like a lot of the details come together later in the portrait drawing process is that after they're done, you don't really want to touch it because you'll mess them up. Like if I come back and just like wipe my hand across this, um, all of this will like blur and get messy. It's no good, guys. So you kind of save the details for later. Now, in this process, I like to do the eyes a little bit sooner than I probably would if I wasn't doing it on the live stream, just because like I don't know, people feel weird about like an eyeless face. So I kind of want to get that in there, um, just so that you guys don't feel like Marble's not in here. Marble Rose. So like she actually made that comment one time, like, "Oh, that's creepy. It has no eyes and stuff like that." So now I'm all self conscious about it. I'm just kidding, like, but it's kind of like that. I'm kidding, but I'm not. You know, I recognize that this is I'm drawing a picture, but this is also like performance art, right? So like I'm drawing in public for you guys, so I have to be conscious of that and make sure that I'm getting I'm getting features in there while you guys are watching, so that it all makes sense. It's like Bob Ross, right? Like we're always talking about Bob Ross on this show. So like Bob Ross, when he painted, he wasn't just doing a beautiful painting of I presume the Rocky Mountains. Um, he was also doing a television show, right? So like he's trying to instruct people, tell people what he's doing. Like he always mentioned his colors. I don't do any of that crap, but um, that's the kind of stuff that's a little bit above and beyond just drawing a picture. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I feel like I can get lost in doing these eyes. I kind of want to speed it up a little bit because I still have to get a mouth in here and things like that. Cool. That's a good start. So yeah, I kind of do things out of order than I would normally do them. Like I'd probably save the eyes and stuff like that for last if I was just doing this, on the side or something like that. And I want that pizza now. How's your salmon going, Mama Q? Good. Oh, the Dukes, like Dukes of Hazzard. I used to watch the shit out of that show when I was a kid. Um, I think everybody did down south. Basically, an entire region will watch a particular show. So, like Walking Dead, everybody in Georgia watches Walking Dead just because it's like partially set in Georgia and stuff like that, and that whole survival thing and everything. It appeals to people down south. That's how like it was with the Dukes of Hazzard back in the day. Dinner is served. Well, I appreciate you sharing your dinner with us. That's kind of cool. I wish I could play music and not get like copyright strikes because I would be playing some nice classical music or something like that, something for you to enjoy your dinner with. And then you could just like put the TV next to you while you're at the dinner table or something. Listen to some nice music, some fine art. I mean, that actually sounds like something I would watch. Oftentimes when I am eating, I put on like some other artist or something and watch how they do things. Like, what I think something a lot of people don't realize is that we all watch each other's channels. Like, I learn from watching others, and then you guys might learn from watching me, and so on. It's like this big, like circle, I guess. It's a circle of life, guys. All right. Yeah, that's one. Let's get some color in her. I don't really like to do like straight up white eyes when I'm doing these color pictures because there are so many different things going on in them that like white is a bit distracting, but I do like to throw in a highlighter too, like this. I think I want to kind of make this a little more round. Smaller pictures like this, it's hard to tell how far to go with the eyelashes. Like this has got more like a classical look to it. If it was a modern picture, I might put in some I don't know. Girls have the makeup that comes out like Cleopatra nowadays. I might put in some of that, but can't do that in a classical picture. Like I may never get there, but as far as like the kind of drawings that I want to do is I want to do drawings that if you look at them, you have no idea if they were done in 2023 or 1823. You know, that's the kind of art I want to create. Classic, beautiful art. And I feel like I have a long road to get there, but when I get there, it'll be well worth the journey. I'll get there eventually. That's the kind of way of drawing art that I'm trying to teach myself, you know. I don't want to draw I don't want to draw, you know, the trendy stuff. I want to draw something that you really have no idea when it was created. Timeless, classic. That's that would be ideal. Get some shape going on that nose. I want to go to Mama Q's house for dinner. It's so much better than what I had. We always end up talking about food. I should really eat substantially before I come on here. Because, like, you guys start talking about food and stuff, and I start getting hungry. My nose always, like, itches while I'm doing this. All right, cool. All right, so I think that that's pretty good shape there. Let me turn my focus to her mouth, which is still a little featureless. Gonna smooth this out a little bit, get it started. I'll take a swig of my bourbon. All right, so I got a bunch of different pinks here. Lips are tough for me. Like the basic shape I can do, but like all the details in them, I kind of struggle with that a little bit. But they're like the eyes, you know, you have to put these features in. There's kind of like an outline to the rim, but you don't want it to look cartoony. Nice. Now you realize you just said that in the chat to everyone. So it's a party at Mama Q's house tonight. We're gonna get some salmon. I like salmon. I like grilled salmon. I just like fish in general. Like I can't afford to eat salmon every day. It's gotten expensive, but I can eat some tilapia or whatever, however that's pronounced. You know, the cheap stuff. I don't even know what kind of fish that is. It's a good start. I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use this brown here. Sorry for reaching across the page. I kind of want to get some shadow in here. I tell you, the mouths that I have the most trouble drawing is the ones that are partly open, where you see just a little bit of teeth. I need to draw somebody's like smiling like broadly or something just to give that a shot. But like these are easier mouths for me. Um, it's difficult for me to draw something where just one or two teeth are showing because like, oh man, the shapes involved in that, it's so challenging. And like you can you can make small mistakes and nobody will even notice, but um if you if you make a big mistake, somebody will notice. And I feel like whenever I try to do teeth, like just the little teeth, like let's just like you know what I'm talking about. Just the two teeth showing and stuff. They're either going to come out looking like buck teeth or something that I'm not intending. I can't stop laughing. I'm spraying spit all over my picture. Anyway, it's no good. You gotta stop drawing buck teeth. Let's see. I think this is probably good through here. Let me add some highlights in there. All right. Put these pencils down for a moment. Where's my white at? There we go. Like a little ridge of white that kind of comes across. But it's not exactly white, so I need to come back and kind of pink that up a little bit. And I think I'll do that with this light pink here. So you can, with pastels, you can kind of mix colors. So like, what I like about pastels is that they're super opaque, but then, like if you blend them together, you can mix colors and create the color you want. So like I kind of want some white here, but also more pink than white. I think that looks cool. Oh, it's probably not perfect, but that's okay. All right, and then again, there's always this ridge that kind of catches the light and kind of almost gives like a milk mustache, but not really. It's really super thin. So I like to do that, but I like to do that in white, but then I don't want to leave it in white. So I'll probably try to blend that out just a little bit. Or at least kind of come over it with some other color than white so that it doesn't look like milk. But I still want it to be like super bright. Yeah, that looks cool. Um, and then I'm messing up my picture. Time to do some cosmetic repair because I can't stop spitting on my picture. That's okay. I need to add some highlight through here anyway. So she kind of has her head up a little bit. So you do kind of see this kind of roundness, this moonish kind of chin highlight. And I like that look. For some reason, this particular kind of like head up a little bit kind of thing makes me feel like I don't know, it's almost like a Renaissance kind of pose. I don't know why I say that. It's just kind of how I feel about it. And then there's some shadow underneath the mouth. something a little bit darker than that. Now, my chubby little fingers probably aren't going to fit in there. So let me try and blend that with a blending stump. Soften that up. All right, so that's looking okay. Okay. This blend that out. Sorry I'm so quiet. I'm a little bit focused. All right. So I think that's good for the basic face. Let me fix up that nose a little bit. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, so like saltwater fish. That's good. Just seafood in general. It's been a while since I've been to a seafood restaurant. I need to make that a priority. So to create some details, is this my brown? Yeah. Got so many different, I lose track of pencils. Um, so to create a stronger ridge here, let's create like a little bit of shadow coming down off the tip of the nose. And just a little goes a long way to creating kind of like this 3D effect. But then you don't want it to be a hard line, so you have to lightly come back and blend it. All right. And then, let's see, I guess this color will work. Um, this part here is a little bit lost in the shadow here. So just add it back in. And that's what's so great about these pastels, the layering, just create, it's hard to see on camera, but just that one little line there creates this like three-dimensionality that's just amazing. Because you got all this is like basically, I don't know, like I only recently started getting better at this, and I'm still not perfect at it, but like you go from like light to dark to light again. They call that like values and stuff. And it just goes a long way to making your picture look realistic. And I'm not even going for like hyper realistic or anything like that. If I were, I would just give up. But the more attention you pay to these things, it just creates a better piece of art. Highlight the outside of that nose. Yeah, she's looking three-dimensional now. All right, so there is a lot of white in her face. So I think, oh, let me give her some nostrils so that I don't forget that part. Kind of important. People need to breathe. Are we doing on time? Yeah, we're good. I'll get this going. Now, you notice there I had three different pencils to create one nose, and that's because of the shifting values. So you go from like kind of like a lightish reddish look to a brown to almost black. All right, cool. All right, so I feel comfortable with everything where I can kind of come in and start really bringing her face to life with some of this white, I think. So the white isn't going to be actually white as it sits upon the other colors. It kind of blends in. It's just it's just basically, you can call it white, you can call it light, whatever you want to call it, but it just kind of gets blended in with all the other colors. And hey, thanks, kid. Yeah, yeah, maybe she's a little sad. She's thinking. I need to draw like a super happy person. Yeah, she does look a little sad, doesn't she? Relax, dog. We're not done. Yeah, she's sad to be drawn by me. Maybe I can give her a little bit of a smile and kind of lighten her mood. That'd be interesting to see if I can kind of like lighten her mood. Give her like maybe a little twinkle in the eye, something like that. It is kind of interesting that I'm able to get these colors in all on the black paper. That's what I'm fascinated by. Because that was really the test tonight, is to see if I can get color on a black paper. Yeah, deep in thought. Yeah, she's thinking about, well, for you guys, she's thinking about how she went looking for that treasure chest and didn't find it. How's that? She's upset that she didn't find the treasure chest. She's like, "Oh man, I was so close to finding that thing. I guess it wasn't meant to be. Better luck next time." Yeah. Maybe I'm projecting here. Like this is my face. Like I'm sad. Let's see. Hmm. Now I'm using white here, but I could just as easily use like if I wanted to be like a little bit warmer, I could be using, you know, like a light yellow or even like I don't know, like a more flesh toned, but I'm happy with this white. This works. Let's see. Now, I don't want to overdo it, because, I do want to keep those shadows in there to make it look three-dimensional. So I'll kind of curtail it back a little bit. I want this to be more shadowed than it is. Soften all this up. All right, so I am going to, yeah, this one. I'm going to add some highlights in some places. I spent so much time looking for that treasure and I didn't find anything. Woe is me. Because this is she is supposed to be in the forest, so this makes sense. That's the story behind this. I love it. Oops, wrong one. You need to be conscious of time. I don't want to spend forever on this. So what's cool about coming back over with some white is that you do get to smooth out some of these spots. They're a little bit rough. I like this picture. I think it's turning out nice. I don't care if she is sad. All right, so this is a pink. I'm kind of like trying to rosy up her cheeks a little bit, which I think it's turning out nice. You need to be careful not to simply scrape away the under stuff because I want to kind of lay over it. Same deal with the other side. I guess basically like a little bit of blush. I think that's how makeup works. All right. Um, you guys are on a roll tonight. I love it. All right. So I really need to stop tinkering with her face now and move on to her ear and her neck and her hair because I can always come back to some of these features a little bit later on. I need to make sure that, there's a whole picture here before we're done. All right, let's see if I can get some ear in here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do this and this and this. That's what I'm going to make the ear out of. You guys know how much I love making ears. But I think just the way this is positioned, this ear is going to go better than some of my other ears that I've made that I hate. I hate ears. They're like the worst feature on people. Actually, I really like ears. I just don't like drawing them. Yeah, this is all unintentional, guys. I wasn't trying to make everything. This is Friday night. We're supposed to be happy and joyful, and I'm bumming you guys out. Sorry. I'm actually in a good mood. This has been, I mean, it's been a long week, but it's been, it's been a pretty decent week. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I think it's going to be great. Um, yeah, nobody should, don't let my picture bring you guys down. It's not intentional. Oh, don't you hate that? You see that? Broke my pencil. I'm gonna still use it. Look at I'm using the tip. All right, I gotta stop laughing. Every time I laugh, I spit on this picture. Yeah, we don't need no pencils. I'm literally using the pencil tip here. This is great. You ain't gonna find this on one of those other art shows. Draws an entire picture with just the tip of a pencil that broke off. All right, put that off to the side. There you go. I might need that again. Darken some of these areas up. So tell me some good news so that we can uh, we can recover from this depressing picture. What's good in the world? Anyone have any birthdays or happy events in their lives? Anybody going on vacation, going camping? Yeah, that looks cool. She does look sad. Dang it. I was thinking she looked really good. Now I'm almost like conscious of the fact that she looks super sad. I want to cheer her up. I mean, get her a little bit of a corner smile here. Give her a Joker smile. Kind of lift the sides here a little bit. A little bit small. That's smilier. Put put a twinkle in her eye. Hey, silver anniversary! Congratulations. That's awesome. Which one's silver? That seems to be that seems to be noteworthy. There you go. She's got a little bit of a twinkle in her eye. Now she looks mischievous. Round this off a little bit. Look at that. Nah, she still looks sad. Oh well. She's gonna be sad. It is what it is, guys. All right. So I don't want her to be completely without a top. All right. How are we doing on time? Yeah. All right. So I need to quickly start getting some of this. I didn't like that one. That's right. All right. Let's see. Kind of want her to have the top kind of comes down, and she's got kind of like I don't know, not really a tunic. I don't really know the proper names for fashion and stuff, but she has kind of like a white top. And I'm going to kind of try to get through this quickly just so that I don't have to spend a ton of time on it. Blend this in. And it's okay if some of that color that I've already put down shows through because, shadows and, you know, you guys know how light works. I don't have to explain it to you guys. This will be a little ruffled. 25 years. Congratulations. Sorry I didn't see that earlier. That's an accomplishment. Congratulations. Seriously. Honestly, like anybody who can make it through 25 years with any other person, that's that's awesome. All right, so kind of want to redirect this a little bit, bring this up and around. And it's just that easy, guys, when it comes to like creating folds. You just create some lines and then you blend them out. And then, you can kind of come back with some other colors and reinforce some of those shadow areas and reinforce some of those highlights. So up here, I really want this to be kind of like a little bit lighter. And this textured paper is really paying off here. It's really picking up that pastel. So if you guys are interested in art and you're looking for tips and tricks, that clear gesso makes the world of difference. Especially if you have super smooth paper like what I'm working on here. This black paper is like, it's not super smooth. It's got a little bit of tooth on it. Like I said, we've done some white charcoal pictures on it in the past, and it held that white charcoal pretty well. But also, for something like this, it's not perfect. Just put in some really, really white lines there to kind of define some of these folds. Again, I'm not super worried about details in through here because it is like not the focal point. I've talked in the past about how you can actually use the lack of detail to help create contrast in your pictures. So like, lack of detail, you move up towards the face. So that's all good. kind of round this off a little bit so that it looks like it's got some folds to it. Smooth that out a little bit. Anyway, I really like the look of pastel. So like I like the unfinished bit there. So I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave this a little bit not blurred and then kind of lightly put in a little bit because this is like in shadow, so it's okay that it kind of dips out a little bit. So I like that look. I think that's cool. All right. Let's work on some hair. Spin around the ear. Kind of want it to be kind of bushy dark, right? So like some curls and stuff like that. And then it kind of comes out the lighter. Again, I'm just kind of quickly putting this in. I want that contrasted with some highlights. What color do I want? It gets kind of down here. I want that to be super light. Maybe that's a bit much. All right. Not dark or light enough. Show this. Yeah. It's kind of wisps of hair, right? So like kind of blurred, kind of coming off the side here. I should have put down some tape and everything so that I didn't get my art space all messed up. But these are like little highlights, or like not highlights. Yeah, exactly that. Highlights. Little spots in the hair that's catching the light. I want most of this to be dark. All right. The reason I want most of that to be dark is so that as I come up and through this other hair, it kind of draws your attention up when I add more highlights. I have her hair wisp off there. So I'm happy with these four colors. There you go. These four colors is what I'm going to do her hair in. And this one here kind of and I think you can kind of like just muscle through hair pretty quickly this way. Especially on these soft pastel portraits. Now at this point, I just kind of want to cover up some of this green, but I want to leave a little bit of it because like I said, I want this to look like she's out in the forest. Like literally, she went looking for that treasure and didn't find it. So she's out there in the forest, right? She's like, "Oh, I thought it was right there, but it wasn't. That sucks. If only I could find that blaze. I could be a millionaire, not have to worry about things. But nope, it wasn't meant to be. So sorry, lady. So sorry. Maybe next time. Maybe the next time there's $1 million treasure out in the Rocky Mountains, you'll find it. That's never gonna happen again. It's so sad. That was so much fun though. Like every now and then I'm reminded like $1 million sitting out in the Rocky Mountains and we got to participate. How awesome is that? It's amazing to me how quickly hair goes when done this way. In many ways, it's a lot faster actually than doing hair and charcoal. Because like charcoal, you have to come back with like an eraser. I haven't touched that eraser once, I don't think. Maybe I did earlier, but no, no, it's sitting over here. I haven't touched that once. That nice and soft. Let's see, get some highlights going over here. All this is catching the light. Draw a happier version of her next week. I might do that. Keep it nice and soft. That's what's so great about these pastels. Little hair wisps going here. I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit over here in the lighter area and kind of like use this much softer or much lighter. Just catching that light. I think that looks cool, right? Yeah. I don't even have to ask you guys. I know it looks cool. All right. I do want to do some more like through here. How are we doing on time? Um, but before I do that, I wanted to kind of make it look a little bit like a, I promised that she was out in the woods and stuff, so I wanted to kind of rough in some tree leaves and stuff, you know, braving in the woods and all that. But I don't want to just use that color. I want to kind of vary it up a little bit. I don't really like this green. It's a little neon, but it's the only kind of green I got. So get some. I don't want to overdo this. I feel like less is more on this. But I don't really want to get too crazy with this stuff, but I think it looks cool. Um, Maybe a little bit through here and then kind of blend it out. Yeah, I like that. So kind of lost in the forest. Just kind of smudge it in some place. I want to leave it kind of rough, right? So like everything is as you move away from the face, it's supposed to look a little rough. feel like some of these should have maybe kind of gone in. It's good enough. And then probably a few here closer to the face, just to kind of tie it in. It's kind of weird if you just have like all these like little tree things over here, um, without kind of bringing it in closer. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that's a bit much. Yeah, so I'm just gonna stop there on that. All right, so just a few finishing touches. I don't like this looks kind of blah. I really need to like increase the contrast through the neck, I think. So let me clean my hands in case I have to smear with my hands. But once I do that, I do think that we're probably going to be, yeah, I know dogs. Give me a minute. Get some definition through here to kind of separate the face from the neck, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it needed. Just so that it doesn't look like one big blob, right? Like, give her a nice. I mean, she's been through a lot. She deserves to have a face that's, you know, defined. Oh, you think that's funny, right, dog? Plus, it gives me the opportunity to kind of clean up some of this area through here. I need to put back in. I think it was this color. Nope, a little bit light. This color. I kind of accidentally picked some of that up. Split that out. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I kind of picked up a little bit too much pastel off the paper. So let me get that back in there. I think that works. All right, let me go back to doing what I was doing here. Bring that up and around. Kind of connect it to this here a little bit. Yeah, yep. She's looking like, oh man. No, you know what? I'm going to change the story a little bit. It's not that she um, couldn't find the treasure. She's got the look of somebody who showed up a day late. That's what's going on in this picture. She showed up, she had the right spot, but she didn't get there until after the other guy found it. That's what's going on here. That's the look she's got. She doesn't have the look of somebody who didn't find it. She has the look of somebody who was too late. Like she missed it by a day or something. That's poor lady. I mean, I feel bad for her. Like, she tried so hard. Like, if she had just, like, she literally bought the plane ticket. She went out there and she was just one day late. And she knows it too. That's the sad part. Like, it's not, there's no question in her mind. She she had the right spot, just the wrong time. Put a little bit of a highlight there. Blend that out. Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of touch up here because like this is the problem with using non-actual pastel paper is once you start getting into some upper layers that like I should have sprayed this down with some fixant. I can't do that actually in this room, but if you are a professional like pastel person, and you were working on this yourself, this is a good point where you would spray some fixant so that you can come back and work with some of these areas without having to worry about, you know, losing some of your pastel. Because like I've kind of reached the upper limit on how many layers I can put in this. Yeah. Um, well, bear with me, guys. We're almost done. I just kind of want some yellowish look through here. And then for me, I'm so into like I'm into all this for some reason. Like the muscle structure down there, the tendons, all of that stuff. Like to me, that's a cool look is to get all of this, neck stuff going on. I don't know why. Like I just think that that really adds to the picture. Like through here, kind of highlight this because it catches the light, right? Like the light's coming down. Like you can even see on my neck, like right here, that's catching the light and everything. That's important. Got to get the important stuff in. Unimportant stuff, who cares? And blend all that in. There you go. Now she's got some three-dimensionality to her, not just like a blob of a neck. Now, I reserve the right not to care in the future, but on this picture, I think the details down here, they're not really details, they're just like shapes, you know? I think that looks cool. Maybe bring that a little bit closer to the white. Yeah, I think we're about done, guys. And then where's my white pencil? It's in here somewhere. Let me get some. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Where's my white? Yeah, time's running out on that. And he doesn't seem to be joking around. Like, once it's over, it's over. He says he's gonna take back those flies, and keep them for himself. Time's a ticking. Like, if anybody lives in Colorado, you better get on it. You've procrastinated too long. You got to figure that impossible poem out. I actually think it's kind of cool what he did. Like I took a stab at it myself. I mean, I pretty much came up with the same general area that a lot of other people did, but there's got to be some trick to it because like other people have gone out there and actually looked in that area and couldn't find anything. So I feel like it's the last 5 feet that matter on this particular one. You know, like just having the general area is not going to cut it. That's my take on it. I don't live anywhere near Colorado. I'm not going to drive all, like I don't even fish, right? So like I'm not that interested in finding them. I think it'd be cool, but I'm not going to Colorado just to look for some fishing flies. But if you're in the area or you do like to travel like that, time's a ticking, guys. I gotta smear this out just a little bit, just because it's so stark. Oh, and I wanted to. Sorry, we're almost done. I swear. Bring your hair down a little bit. That's all supposed to be hair. It kind of comes down. It gives me an excuse not to put in a lot of features on her shirt. All right, guys, I think we're about done here. What do you guys think? You guys like, do you guys like these pastel pictures? Do you think I've been doing too many of them? Would you guys rather see something else? I'm pretty open to drawing whatever. I just feel like people like how these have looked. Like I put some up on Reddit and, you know, got some upvotes and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm here for you guys, whatever you guys want me to draw. So if you guys like things like this, I'll try to do more of them in the future. But thanks, Lorraine. I do think that I need to get back to doing some more pet portraits. I know there's some people who wanted things like that. I don't want to leave them hanging. I think most people are pretty nice about, you know, like people are pretty patient. This is where I screwed things up. But yeah, so I'll get back to that here in the future. Maybe I'll try to do like a pet portrait in this style, you know, with caked on pastel. Not happy with this. Very lightly. There you go. All right, so I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so sad, depressed lady looking for treasure. That's the name of this one. Yes, dog, we're almost done. I just want to kind of clean up this little area over here a little bit. Let's see, where's my white? Sorry. Every time I say I'm done, I find little things. Kind of want to sharpen this edge over here. And kind of want to throw in some highlight up here smoothly. I think she looks happier than she did a little while ago. Yes. Hold on a second, guys. Almost done. Define those eyebrows a little bit more. I struggle with eyebrows, I really do. Put some lines in. There you go. Get her mouth a little bit more defined. All right, now I think I'm done. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna call this done regardless. Ooh, Green Mountain, is that where they have the coffee? I like Green Mountain coffee. You're probably talking about something else. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call this done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys, I gotta call it done before I spit on it again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. And yeah. All right, I'm gonna call this done. All right, so I'll put this up on the community channel. You know, after I take a picture of it. Oh, dang it! Sorry. One more thing. Fix this hairline a little bit. A picture is never done. You just have to like step away eventually. Again, the closer you get to the face, the more details matter. So kind of want to put in, you know, like if it's closer to the face, you want this hairline and so on. These things matter. Sorry. I know I said it was done, but all right, now we're going to call it done. He says as he puts a few more marks down. All right, I'm going to call it done. I appreciate you guys' patience. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Friday night. I really hope you guys have a great weekend. Bear wants to go out. Let's see, how do I switch to just me? There we go. All right. Yeah. Say hi to the people. See the people? Do you see the people? She doesn't care. She wants to go out. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope you guys have a great weekend. If I don't draw something else this weekend, I'll see you guys Tuesday. Yeah. They said bye. They said bye. She's such an adorable dog. All right. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you guys get out and mow your lawns because mowing lawns are so much fun. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.